In today's news, VI Softball Baseball Association pays tribute to avid softball player and businessman Koi Millman Fret. Firearm Amnesty seeks to inspire a new beginning on gun violence in the Virgin Islands, and the government alone cannot solve the present gun violence in the BVI, says Premier of the Virgin Islands, the Honorable Andre Foy. Annika Christopher to represent the VI at the Commonwealth Games and Farmers and Fishers Week 2022 declared officially open. All this and so much more when 284 News returns.
Yo, everything good, Dad?
Aye. This thing got me one way, Daddy.
What do you mean?
Ever since I hook up with this thing, I can't eat, I can't sleep. This is the first thing I touch it when I reach home.
What do you really? Hey, this ain't like you know.
Dad, this thing got me staying home, keeping out of trouble me.
Wow. What your name is?
Shit. I talking about my CCT life.
Don't worry about missing your favorite series, sports, news, and local programming. Come to CCT today and sign up for CCT Live to access over 80 channels. CCT Live. Bring it home.
1 month free trial turn into 5. 5 months turn into, well, you know I huff. I watching ball. I been watching football. Dad, Nickelodeon, Paw Patrol. I am hooked. Hook, I tell you.
There's a reason you get up on a morning. A reason you pick yourself up, start the day. Maybe it's sheer grit. Maybe it's your ethics. Maybe it's because you know people like you are waiting for people just like you. We all have our reasons, and for Republic Bank, that reason is you. Every little thing, every big thing. It's all about making a difference in your life. Because after 182 years, if it's one thing we're sure about, is that the difference is you. We're here to help.
Republic Bank. We're the one for you.
Welcome everybody. It's Monday, March 28th, 2022. I'm Ron Grant coming to you live and direct from Tortola in the Virgin Islands. A happy Monday to each and every one of you, all of our viewers, especially those across the region. Thank you so much for joining us. Beginning our newscast on the local scene, in a recent media post, the Virgin Islands Softball Baseball Association has paid tribute to avid softball player and businessman Koi Millman Fret, who transitioned on Saturday, March 27, 2022. Now, the post stated, and I quote, "The Virgin Islands Softball Baseball Association and the extended softball family mourns the loss of another outstanding player, Mr. Koi Millman Fret. The Millman was profoundly known to deliver a home run whenever his team, the Blue Wings, called upon him. Millman played with the Blue Wings for many years, and he was their faithful outfielder and their team's motivator. When it came to hitting, Millman had a powerful, compact swing that struck fear in many pitchers' eyes." Reflecting on the legacy and contribution of Koi Fret to the sport of softball, Mr. Walwyn G.M. Bruley shared that the common phrase echoed throughout the park was always, and I quote, "The mailman delivers yet another home run." Now, on a Sunday afternoon, this was the constant phrase. The Virgin Islands Softball Baseball Association also shared that the mailman won the most valuable player in 2009 with the Blue Wings at the 2009 BVI Softball Association banquet. He was selected to represent the British Virgin Islands national softball team on many occasions, but could unfortunately not participate due to the management of his business, Koi's Mailing Services. Now, viewers, this is not the first person within the last few months, at least 12 years, to have struck the BVI Softball Baseball Association. A few individuals have died, and I think it is most fitting that we pay tribute to the members and friends of the BVI Softball Association, particularly as they have taken a serious hit. Now, continuing on local news, the Premier of the Virgin Islands, the Honorable Andre Foy, along with the support of all members of the House of Assembly, are teaming up with the Commissioner of Police and the Governor in a campaign to reduce the number of firearms on the streets by offering a 2-week firearm and offensive weapon amnesty beginning on Monday, April 4th. Now, viewers, the firearm amnesty is to begin the first Monday in April, and it will conclude on Easter Monday, April 18th, to coincide with the end of the Lenten season. During this time, persons can turn over prohibited weapons and unlicensed firearms, along with other offensive weapons, to any police station without fear or prosecution for illegal possession of the weapon across the Virgin Islands. Among other illegal weapons in the territory are daggers, flick knives, gravity knives, and knuckle dusters. Now, in an official comment, Commissioner of Police Mark Collins says he is joining the government of the Virgin Islands and the entire House of Assembly in declaring a ceasefire to mark a new beginning. He said, and I quote, "This is a truce, a peace treaty of sorts. All my officers know that no one can be arrested or prosecuted if an illegal weapon is surrendered during the amnesty period. In turn, we are asking that these weapons be handed over to us, whether directly or through a trust person. We want to restore a tranquil way of life, a peaceful coexistence. We can begin on April 4th, he said. Now, viewers, the force has confiscated some 23 firearms within the last month, total of 45 total within the last 4 months. Still, there are many illegal weapons within the community, and the amnesty of guns was announced by Premier at the Justice for Jamez vigil. Take a look.
I'm here to say that after being encouraged very heavily by Honorable Neville Smith, who's away on official business, I approached the National Security Council and graciously has been approved by the Commissioner and the Governor, the Deputy Premier, and all of us to have an amnesty on guns. The Commissioner will be announcing very soon when it will start, which is very soon, and we start with 2 weeks for every single person in this territory to turn in your guns without any questions asked. We'll be using also persons in the community who persons look up to, and make sure that we have them fully organized and given the rights to do so by the Commissioner to also be the ones to bring them in. And we'll reanalyze it after 2 weeks and even decide to extend it some more. That is a start to get the guns off the street. Because every time you lose someone to gun violence, a mother is crying. Every time you lose someone to gun violence, a father is crying. Every time you lose someone to gun violence, either a sister or brother is crying, a grandmother is crying, a grandfather is crying. But worse yet, in this case, a child is crying.
Viewers, continuing on the matter of gun violence, the government alone cannot solve the present gun violence situation that has been plaguing the territory in recent years. This was the message shared by the Premier of the Virgin Islands, the Honorable Andre Foy, during a recent airing of the VIP's Let's Talk radio program. Now, Honorable Premier was responding to concerns raised by a caller who urged the government to tackle the situation following numerous recent gun-related crimes.
I hear you, but at the same time too, I have not coming out now, I've been out, but this cannot be solved just by the Premier. It cannot be solved just by the Commissioner of Police. It cannot be solved just by any law enforcement agencies. It's going to take all of us, every one of us, playing our part and playing it well. We continue to ignore a lot of things lately in society. Some persons don't have time even to coach basketball teams. I grew up coaching, playing basketball, being around and giving your time. Everything now persons want to be paid. Yes, money has its place, but at the same time too, when you invest time in our young people, invest time in your children, and you keep them from going the wrong way, you save yourself money in the end. Some persons are working 2 or 3 jobs, and it's not just to pay the bills. They say they want their children to have a better life than they have, and I respect that. But they forget while they are building up the money to build up the morale and the principles in their child. So by the time they make the money and they look back, the child is already lost because the child was not part of that process.
Viewers, Premier Foy also said that now is the time for the entire territory to collectively conduct an internal assessment of each other to find ways on how best to tackle the gun violence phenomenon.
This is not a time to try to create mischief. This is a time for all of us to do an introspection of ourselves and say, what can I do to step forward to stop these violence? We have to admit the fact that some of us have done very good job, and some of us, I keep myself in all of it, have done a poor job, whether it as citizens, as parents, as even in some of our jobs. We have done both good and bad. And what do I mean by that? Some parents make sure that they do all they can with their children. You have no guarantee when you raise your children what can happen, but they did their best. But some parents now are allowing the children to run the home. And they're not carrying them to church, but the parent is going to church and the child is home. And like I said on Saturday, and I said it before, but I also re-emphasized it Saturday because it happened again in my area. Parent went to church, left the child home. Child now is out on the street in some areas where they shouldn't be by night. And the parents say, they have no problem with it, they're out with friends. That's kind of like the cat going in front of the horse. In addition to that, we have to sit as a country and start to have more conversations together. Have conversations with our children.
The leader of government business also urged residents across the Virgin Islands to stop playing the blame game, adding that the solution must start by policing ourselves.
Unless we understand that it starts with each of us, then we're going to forever be looking to cast blame, say who didn't come out or who didn't come out, speak against violence. I've spoken all the time, and what I've said now I've been saying consistently. I've spoken in general for everyone, and the family of the late Bob can speak, and they could come to the radio and tell you what all that have done with them and any other person that I know that have been killed, the families comforting them and consoling them and doing whatever you can to help with justice for all. But this is larger than me and worrying about what I come forward with. This is we as a community. If we see something, say something. And the police job usually is an end result. They come when the murder has already happened or something has already happened. Yes, they could patrol, but they can't be everywhere. And at times the community policing can help. But we have to police ourselves. That's why I commend the churches for some of the work they're doing. Some have to get back up to speed with the youth section of it, and the Minister of Education in Ecclesiastes Affairs is working with some of them to do that. And also I commend the mail program. We have to understand that each of us have to get involved.
The territory has already recorded 2 gun-related murders within the Virgin Islands for the year 2022 and experienced a recent shooting in the parking lot of the popular Barbie supermarket. Viewers, up next, Farmers and Fishers Week declared officially open, and Anika Christopher is to represent the VI at the Commonwealth Games. We have these stories and so much more after a word from our sponsors. You're watching 284 News.
There's a reason you get up on a morning. A reason you pick yourself up, start the day. Maybe it's sheer grit. Maybe it's your ethics. Maybe it's because you know people like you are waiting for people just like you. We all have our reasons, and for Republic Bank, that reason is you. Every little thing, every big thing. It's all about making a difference in your life. Because after 182 years, if it's one thing we're sure about, is that the difference is you. We're here to help.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
Viewers, welcome back and thank you so much for sticking with us. Now continuing on the local scene, the Minister for Agriculture and Fisheries, Dr. the Honorable Natalio D. Wheatley, officially declared Farmers and Fishers Week 2022 open via a video posted to the government Facebook page on Sunday. In his short remarks, the minister explained the week's theme, which is Rise, a Time for Action, Inspiration and Impact, and address the need to be self-sufficient. Take a look.
This Farmers and Fishers Week, our theme, Rise, a Time for Action, Inspiration and Impact, is guided by the principle that we must work together to inspire action and make the greatest impact. There's no need for me to emphasize how important it is for Virgin Islanders to be more self-sufficient. It is clear how easily we are affected by what takes place beyond our borders, as we import the majority of what we consume. It is also clear that we cannot control or even influence these external changes, and must therefore put our efforts into our internal growth while building healthy partnerships with those in our region and even internationally. Careful investment and support for developing our local farming and fishing industries is necessary to build and further develop a well-structured, resilient, and accountable food system in the Virgin Islands. As our population increases and our health, social, and economic challenges become more complex, we have a responsibility to ensure that everyone is able to access healthy, life-giving food, and fishers and farmers are able to build profitable industries that support them and their families while contributing to our local economy.
Now viewers, the week of agriculture activities will culminate on Saturday, April 2nd with the annual Market and Exhibition Day held at the agriculture grounds in Paraquita Bay. This year also places a greater emphasis on the sister islands, of course, in the Virgin Islands compared to the last year's festivities, with activities being held on Jos Van Dyke, Virgin Gorda, and of course Anegada, respectively. Now Virgin Gorda residents can also expect their very own Market and Exhibition Day as well. It has been announced through a Government Information Services release that Miss Annika Christopher, a young writer, poet, and publisher, has been chosen by the Government of the Virgin Islands through the Ministry of Education and Culture to represent the BVI at the Commonwealth Games in May. Now, Miss Christopher's selection by the Birmingham Commonwealth Games organizers has made the Virgin Islands one of the 5 Commonwealth countries to have been included in a creative arts program, which has been commissioned by the Birmingham Commonwealth Games, Birmingham 2022. Now, viewers, Birmingham 2022 has commissioned a Birmingham-based consultancy agency, Beat Freaks, to manage a program that will develop and celebrate young creatives who are also organizers around the Commonwealth. Of course, the program will work with each Commonwealth artist and document their day-to-day work. Now, as their project progresses, Beat Freaks will share their stories via social media, and ultimately, this will take part of a larger storytelling piece, such as a documentary. This creative arts program lasts from February 17th to May 17th. Minister for Education, Culture, Youth Affairs, Fisheries, and Agriculture, Dr. the Honorable Natalio D. Wheatley, said he was extremely pleased to hear of the selection of Miss Annika Christopher, who was an emerging collection of poems and was also a winning recipient. Also will be participating in the Queen's Baton Relay, which will be held in the Virgin Islands in early May. Now, of course, viewers, I want you to understand that meanwhile, Miss Annika Christopher, alongside Miss Rochelle Smith, who is the head of the Humanities, Social Sciences, and Communication Department at the H. Lavity Stout Community College, have been selected to participate in a 5-day masterclass, Writers and Artists residency, of course, during the week of May 23rd to May 27th. Now, viewers, the classes will be led by experts from the World Children's Publishing. The purpose of the Writers and Artists residency is, of course, to support the next generation of children's writers and illustrators, emerging careers, writers, and illustrators. We want to wish Miss Rochelle Smith and Miss Annika Christopher the very best as they continue to support and represent the territory of the Virgin Islands. Honorable Wheatley further stated that the honorable selection of Ms. Christopher and Ms. Smith is a good indication of ongoing efforts and plans to further develop our local culture and especially our literacy arts. The minister said, and I quote, "As I have said before, culture is a driver of development and a powerful source of creativity and innovation. Having our young people participate in these events will serve to propel them into further innovation and creativity to help move our country into more sustainable development. I congratulate them and wish them well." Now, viewers, participants will work in a group in the mornings, of course, being guided by the experts in the field, and in the afternoon will have a private work time to focus on their narratives. At the end of the week, each participant should have created a body of work which can be developed further. Viewers, up next, CDB funds procurement, training, and appointment of 6 individuals appointed to serve on the newly established Trade Commission Board. We have the details of this and so much more after a word from our sponsors. You're watching 284 News.
Hello?
Wait, you had a lunch again? You don't say you were sick? What happened to our wedding rehearsal?
No, babe. I'm actually watching the news right now. Take a listen.
Topping our newscast today, UFOs seen around Tortola Pier Park.
And District 3 residents outraged over no water supply. They simply cannot bathe. These and more stories when 284 News returns. All right, babe, just get some rest, take 2 Advil, and I'll see you later. Bye.
Okay, honey. I see you later. I love you.
It's clear to see that Coconut Lounge is a place to be, the coolest cocktail lounge in the British Virgin Islands. A lounge like no other, with welcoming, professional service, and a breathtaking ambiance. Not forgetting a diverse selection of wines, beers, and signature cocktails. Cozy, comfortable, contemporary. Coconut Lounge at Tortola Pier Park. Visit us today. Viewers, welcome back and thank you so much for sticking with us. Closing out on the local scene once again, Premier and Minister of Finance, the Honorable Andre Foy, says that a CDB-funded procurement training initiative will foster good governance in the BVI. Speaking at a press conference on Friday, March 25th, the Premier said the training seeks to help stakeholders, that is all stakeholders, become familiar with the new Procurement Act.
The process for implementing the recently passed Public Procurement Act 2021 has begun. The Ministry of Finance is conducting a series of training on the Act to ensure that all stakeholders are prepared for its coming into force, which is expected in the second quarter of this year. The goal of the Ministry of Finance is to train those involved in all aspects of government procurement activities in the application of the Act. The training is being held from 21st to 31st April 2022 and is being facilitated by Mr. Charles Kendall with funding from the Caribbean Development Bank. Training sessions have been planned specifically for cabinet members, House of Assembly members, public officers, and the supplier community. I reiterate, this legislation is timely as it promotes your government's commitment to good governance and transparency and demonstrates our ability to further police ourselves. This legislation is among a series of good governance legislations that have been passed during your current government's administration, including the Whistleblower Act, the Contractor General Act, Ministerial Code, and the Integrity in Public Life Act, just to name a few. I encourage the supplier community to become familiar with the Public Procurement Act so that they will have a better chance of being successful in winning bids and contributing positively to the economy of the Virgin Islands.
Now, when asked what the training will specifically entail, the Premier of the Virgin Islands affirmed that the training will be focused specifically around legislation.
Well, as you know, the Act was one of the main things that we were working on bringing forward when we took office and we finally got it passed. We had some delays due to COVID, like most things were. this act allows for many things. It also, for the first time, but this is the first time that you have an act. Most of it will be referred to in the Public Finance Management Act, but you actually have a Procurement Act now. So this allows persons to be clear on how they're going to bid for projects, and there's no ambiguity to it. It also allows for persons to challenge if they didn't feel that the process was fair, or they feel or whatever concerns they have with the process. It lays out clearly what businesses, whether contractors or suppliers, can and can't do, and what is expected of them, and how they can go about their bids. So it's a clear document of what you can and can't do, and how you can do it, to put it in as layman language as I can. And I encourage everyone to get the document, read it, and I encourage all contractors, suppliers, anyone with goods and services to make sure they're part of the training. Now, we have had some excellent participation thus far, and persons are coming forward more and more and saying, well, they're glad that this has been finally implemented.
Now, viewers, the Premier of the Virgin Islands has since corrected his original claim, or retracted rather, and said that the training will be held in April, and has stated that the training has already begun. Now, I'm sorry, he previously said that the training will be held in April, but the training has since already begun, and he has cleared that. Now, the CDB says that the organization provides, and I quote, funding to its borrowing member countries to support socioeconomic development objectives, and the procurement training is listed, of course, under the umbrella of procurement resources offered to borrowing member countries. Viewers, I want to thank you so much for your time and for sticking with us. Of course, beginning the news week here in the Virgin Islands, we of course are your source for honest and impartial news here in Tortola in the Virgin Islands. Of course, we have a special report that is airing this evening at 8 p.m. with the Director of Public Prosecutions. That is an exclusive with Tiffany R. Scatliff, our present Director of Public Prosecutions, and as a matter of fact, the first local to hold that position. She sits down with me and really puts into perspective a number of areas. But until then, that is it for today's news roundup. Be sure to follow us for your daily news updates at tweet4media.com, and of course, like us on Facebook at tweet4media and tweet4bvi on Instagram and Twitter. I'm Ron Grant. I'll see you again tomorrow as we deliver your daily dose of local, regional, and international content. We are 284 News, your source for honest and impartial news right here on 284 Media. A happy Monday to each and every one of you. Have a beautiful rest of the evening. Bye-bye.
We interrupt your regularly scheduled programming to bring you this breaking CCT Live update.
Hello listeners, thank you for joining. I'm Ron Grant reporting for 284 News out of Tortola in the British Virgin Islands with this very special breaking news report. Since the start of 2022, customers have been taking advantage of the 1-month free trial for CCT Live TV and signing up for Fiber Internet. Residents Kyra Powell, Massa Hickinbottom, Carly Cartel, and others have taken to social media to heap praise on CCT for the Fiber Internet and CCT Live TV. However, we have just been told that the 1-month free trial for CCT Live TV will finish at the end of March. Customers are asked and being advised to go to CCT today and take advantage of this deal before it goes away. Reporting for 284 News out of Tortola in the British Virgin Islands, I'm Ron Grant.
You value traditions. Today, you value music. You value education. Family. I love you. Service.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Love. Life. At Popular, we're committed to you and everything our community values. For the things you value the most, count on us. Popular.
Live stream cable TV is here with CCT Live. Access over 80 channels that you can watch either at home or when you're on the go. And don't worry about missing your favorite series, sports, news, and local programming. Rewind and watch in your own time. Come to CCT today and ask about our 1-month free trial offer. CCT Live. Bring it home.